So it's been a little bit over a year since the iPhone 11 Pro has arrived on the scene with its all new triple camera. And in this video, the question I want answered was the iPhone 11 Pro, after a year of experience, worth $1,000? Was it justified? And is it something you might want to consider as the new iPhone 12s come out? And this one does see a discount in price point. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Let's begin with the key specifications that matter. We do have a 5.8-inch Super Retina XDR display. Apple always has a way of really making their display sound a lot better than it is. It's just really bright and really accurate. It's a very fantastic display, but pretty similar to a Samsung phone, to be honest with you. Now, at the second spec that we really need to care about, that is the triple 12 megapixel cameras, and these are all capable of 4K 60 on every single lens. Pretty beautiful when it comes to that. In addition to that, you do have yourself a 3046 milliamp hour battery inside the body of the 11 Pro. Also, the 11 Pro did feature itself an Apple A13 Bionic chipset, which made this thing fly. In addition to that, stuffed inside this phone, 4 gigabytes of RAM. Not very much for a $1,000 phone, but still, that's what you got with the 11 Pro. Now, 1 year later with the body, 188 grams. This phone always had a nice heft to it. Over the year, I just really liked how it felt like a good weight that just didn't make it feel cheap. That stainless steel always helps. It's a very hard metal around the edges, just makes it feel sturdy. It feels $1,000, to be honest with you. It feels a premium device here in the iPhone 11 Pro, so I had no problems there. Now, that matte texture on the rear, over a year using this, I want every phone that's in the premium tier to have this, because no fingerprints on the back of this thing. That's one of the slimiest, ugliest things on a phone, when you get fingerprints all over the back glass. And if you're the type of person who doesn't want to wear a case on it, you just want a screen protector, you're gonna love this. But if you do use a case, this probably won't matter too much, but it still has a clean, frosted look. Really do like that about the 11 Pro. Now, what I don't like is that the display on this phone scratched pretty easily. It was definitely harder to crack the display on this one, but the scratching, I scratched this thing in the first week. So I always had a screen protector, as you can see, on this phone ever since day one. And talking more about the design, overall, that camera, I would say after a year, really just kind of wasn't the best looking camera to me ever. I mean, we got used to it. It's not horrible, I don't think, but it's just not my favorite overall look in terms of a triple camera setup. I like vertical setups. I think they look cleaner than this, but you know, this is still not bad. After the honeymoon period wears off, like after the first month or two of using this phone, you kind of feel like you're still using an iPhone 10. So I still want to see Apple really just shrink the notch, do something, just change it up. Yeah, I'm going to see those nice square edges, hopefully on the iPhone 12 coming next month. You know, I'm ready for a different design. 3 years running, this is just getting kind of, played out at this point. On the whole, yes. Does it feel $1,000? Yes, it did. Now, giving you an update on the display. Now, this one does have True Tone. It does have dark mode. It does have night shift. This thing is insanely bright. This is my favorite thing about the 11 Pro series over the 11 and other iPhones. 800 nits of usable brightness. It seems like just some random number, but when you're actually using the phone, you're like, wow, is that my phone getting that bright? Like, burn my eyes, why don't you? No, don't burn your eyes. But like, seriously, this thing gets insanely bright. You might be thinking that it's messing with your eyes. You're gonna have to keep it low at nighttime. It'll just blow you away how bright it is. Definitely really fantastic usability. And that, some phones don't even get that bright. They have to go into their automatic brightness mode to hit those levels of brightness. So really do like that about this. Other than that, it still looks very similar to the iPhone 10 and the 10s display. Very accurate colors, very nice OLED, deep blacks here. You do have nice color rich saturation, but not over saturated like you'll find on certain other phones in their vivid modes like Samsung devices. And this display also did support Dolby Vision HDR10. Watching a video was pretty nice until you pinched in. You're still getting your content cut off by the notch, but still you can watch a video like that, no problem. And the sharpness of the text was always fantastic as well. Well over 400 ppi. You're never going to go ahead and see any type of pixelation on this display. You're really just going to like the display on the 11 Pro. It's just a really great overall display quality. Okay guys, and the display. It's a non 120 Hz panel. Did it bother me? No. Why do I say this? Because Android phones kind of need 120 Hz to hit that level of smooth as the iPhone did. When the iPhone goes to 120 Hz, it's going to be even smoother. So, no, I didn't really miss 120 Hz. Do I want it badly on Android phones? Yes. On the iPhone, not so much, but I still would love to see it. I think it's going to be great to see it on the promotion on the iPhone, but still, at 60 Hz, it runs very smooth here pretty much every day, all day. Now talking about software, I don't want to talk too much about it though, because we covered it in the iOS 14 official review, but of course, iPhone 11 Pro, it's only 1 year old. iPhone's going to go 5 years on the update. The software has really changed since the launch of the iPhone 11 Pro with the new app library and all the widgets on board. It's nice to have this compact feeling phone here, 5.8 inches, and have widget support. You can get a lot done now, seeing a lot of nice things on the display with these widgets. Overall, you're getting software support for years to come. I'm actually running the iOS 14.2 beta on this one right here. This is my beta device. Definitely really good software overall. Overall, concluding the software, I still want to see some split screen. We don't have that still. No real multitasking abilities like where you can put two different apps side by side. You can do picture in picture now, but it's not natively available in YouTube, which still irks me a little bit about the software. So one thing about this phone, I picked up the 64 gig model, as you can see right here, of the 11 Pro. I didn't like that. I probably should have went with 256 gigs, but the thing is this, for $1,000 Apple, can you please put 128 gigs in here? I mean, we're talking about professional cameras and a lot of high quality apps. People are working from home, using a lot of applications these days. They're gonna be loading their phones up. We need 128 gigs at the base. Samsung does this. You should do it too, because really users are really loading these phones up with stuff. In 64 gigs, I was constantly deleting my 4K videos just so I wouldn't run out of space. You could see I've used 41.7 gigs of 64, and that's being, watching myself. If I really wouldn't have paid attention, it would have filled up in no time. But the storage is very fast and efficient for what it is, but still, I want 128 gigs. I think most users would like that at the base level as well. Now, discussing performance, the performance with the A13, there's absolutely no lag. This is the fastest iPhone money can buy right now, and it's going to be even faster when the A14 comes to the iPhone. But what I don't like about it though is one thing: 4 gigs of RAM. It seems like a setback. The reason I say that is because while it is a very fast phone in most occasions, there have been times where I would pop an application and it would just reload, and I think that's just because of the 4 gigs of RAM. So, single tasking, extremely fast. Gaming, extremely fast on this phone, loads faster than every Android phone out there. Camera performance, really good with the processor not allowing it to do that really high quality video. Definitely really good here. Video editing, very fast as well. It's just, it needs more RAM. That's the only problem with the iPhone 11 Pro. I want to see more RAM on the future iPhones. 6 gigs will be a nice start, but 8 gigs would be really nice. And while on the topic of performance, I just wanted to mention thermals. How hot did this phone get? It didn't really warm up too much unless I was doing an iOS update. Then it warmed up if it was on charge and I was doing a beta update, something like that. Definitely would feel that phone warm up. In addition, if you got this thing on a tripod and you're using that camera up here for the iPhone 11 Pro, you put it in 4K 60 video, you're definitely going to see this phone get pretty warm under that usage. But other than that, I mean, it never got too hot. It wasn't ever going to burn your hand or anything like that. So thermal control is very good on this device right here. So talking about the cameras with the 11 Pro, I feel like we could sit here and make an entire video, which we definitely could, and talk about the cameras for an hour long. That's how much detail they can go into it. But I just want to put it this way. What was really nice about the iPhone 11 Pro is how smooth the transition was between each camera and how you can basically do 4K 60 video on every single camera. You could do it on the telephoto, the regular one. You can do it on the front-facing camera. It was such a consistent experience across each camera that made this absolutely the best camera phone on the market, and I still think it's the best camera phone on the market for the absolute most versatility between photo and video. There are cameras that can do more professional tweaking in the camera software. You know, you do have the ability to switch aspect ratios and some exposure stuff. It does have a nice night mode as well that will automatically activate when it's dark. But the front-facing camera also seen a nice improvement, giving you amazing front-facing video, almost like a rear camera on the front. Take a look at some of my samples and judge it for yourself. So the Face ID was, half and half. It was amazing up until COVID. Then I'm like in the stores, I'm out and about. I have to wear this mask and stuff when you enter stores. It's a rule in some of these stores. You go ahead and you try to unlock and it just does that thing. Yes, there was an update to make it fast, but punching in the passcode frequently outdoors was kind of old iPhone feel. I kept missing having a fingerprint scanner, but Face ID is still very amazing. This one was able to unlock from multiple different angles. You don't have to look at it dead on. You just kind of got to look at it, glance at it, and then unlock. It was just a half and half experience, mostly due to the pandemic. Once the pandemic ends and stuff like that, we will be able to use Face ID pretty easily all the time. Discussing phone call quality, reception, stuff like that, the iPhone 11 Pro, I'm happy to report, was better than the prior editions. Still not touching the Samsung phones in my opinion. The 4G LTE is not as fast as the 5G Samsung devices, but it did see an improvement over the 10 and the 10S. It was definitely more usable. I did like it quite a bit more in terms of its overall reception and phone call quality. And discussing battery performance, for a 3046 milliamp hour battery, 1 year later, the iPhone 11 Pro was a champ, easily getting through a day, stretching into the second day, whereas 11 Pro Max was almost 2 day long with light to medium usage. Heavy usage, you could still get through a day with the 11 Pro, even on heavy usage. It had fast wireless charging if you're using that module. If you are using a fast wireless charging, it would charge pretty quickly. In addition, it came with a fast charger in the box. That was fantastic. I didn't like that it didn't have USB-C, but at the same time, charges very fast. Now, a lot of people are reporting that their battery percentages were going down quite a bit for this phone. Luckily, I was able to top it off a lot, so I kept this thing at 100% throughout my usage, although my 11 Pro Max did drop to 98 due to my over usage of, the camera. I was using the camera, had it plugged in a lot, so it dropped a couple percentages, but this one stayed at 100%, so good on my part. So luckily for me, it stayed at 100, but not everybody's did. So let me know how your battery capacity held on over time. Okay, and then the audio performance. If I press play. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. We'll begin with the speakers fired from the top and the bottom, very nice and loud. The only thing is they didn't sound that much better from a 10S or an iPhone 10 stereo speakers. They were a little bit fuller, but at the end of the day, I have to say that the speakers were pretty impressive. They weren't blowing me away, but they were pretty impressive. 1 year later, the 11 Pro, where does this phone stand? Is it worth the $1,000 price point that it commanded? And I'd say yes, if you used the cameras to their potential. If you didn't, you probably overpaid for this phone, because that's really where the value lies in the iPhone 11 Pro. If you guys wanted to have basically everything here, but you didn't use a camera that much, a 10s would have served you basically the same purpose. An iPhone 10R, iPhone 11 could have served you basically the same purpose, or even a used 10s Max. But this one right here, if you use the cameras up a lot, definitely commanded that. Also, if you just like to be on the latest luxurious iPhone, the top dog thing, the latest cutting edge, you don't care about the cameras that much, but you just want to have the latest iPhone, of course, it did feel the price. But it's a safe choice. It's kind of a boring, just amazingly polished, well-working phone. It's not overly exciting like some of these foldables out here, or maybe the iPhone 12 mini that's coming. It just did its job. It's a third generation product that just really nailed it with the overall refinement and polish. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Let us know your experience with the iPhone 11 Pro down below in the comment section of this video, or your thoughts about it. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.